All right, guys. Welcome back again after a long gap. Sorry about that. Just got derailed from this purpose, and I got motivation by some of the comments which were very encouraging. So thank you very much for getting me back on track. So all right. So without further ado, the the topic that I want to cover, as you would have seen by the description already, is XSLT mapping. I felt that that is one of the important topics, so here we go. um, all right, so a little bit of theory, not too much, as you would have known by now. I don't do too much of theory, but just as a quick starter, let's see what are the different type of mapping supported by BTP Cloud Integration. All right. So the first and the foremost and the very basic one is our very own graphical mapping, right? Which is also called the message mapping, right? And then the second one is you can do mapping using Groovy. And the third one, and which is the topic of today, is the XSLT mapping. Now, of course, all of us know that why do we need mapping, right? So we do need mapping because, as with any middleware, the core crux of middleware sometimes lies in, transforming a source message type into a target message type, right? So in the sense, the format of the messages. Okay, so that's the crux of the mapping, and graphical mapping is our same old, you know, sorry, the spelling is where there is a source, there's a target, and then we drag and drop fields or do stuff in between. In the example that I'm going to show you today, um, I have a message mapping also. So, but I'm not going to cover that today. I'm just going to show you right now. So this is a typical message mapping, right? It's opening up. Give it a moment. So where you have a source, you have a target. Both are in XML format, right? If they're not in XML, you have to convert it into XML, right? So basically, you import a source side WSDL or XSD, or and also import a target size WSDL or XSD, and then you just do the mapping, right? So and then within the mapping you also have features like you can put functions, you can use node functions. So you can see here, you can put constants, you can do date conversions, and many more, right? So I'm not going to go deeper into that. It's also a very interesting subject, so yeah, we'll cover in some other topic for sure. But I felt this is still very intuitive, but XSL mapping, though it might be uh, actually, in some cases, depending on scenario, it might be simpler than our graphical message mapping. But I felt, this is my personal feeling, that it might be a little tricky to understand. Looking at it, people sometimes get confused that, oh, it's a coding, and it's difficult to understand in a nutshell, right? So, but yeah, let's try to break that myth today, and let's see. if we would be successful. So the scenario that I have for you today is basically I'm going to pick a file, right? As it's very intuitive here, and then that file is going to be XML. Now there are other scenarios as well. So the project, for example, that I'm doing right now has a majority of file-based integration. So we have a source file which is either fixed length or a CSV or XYZ, right? So some format basically, and the target is also another format. It could be fixed length or some other thing, right? So but the source file format and the target file format are entirely different, right? So what we usually do is we go like this. Let me open this up. So we usually go, okay, fixed length file to, we use a Groovy for text to XML. Now why do we use this? Because if we need to use message mapping, we need it in XML format. We do message mapping. Then we again need it back in the text format. So what we do is we go XSLT mapping for XML to text, and then finally deliver the file. And there could be more steps in between and after, right? So again, fixed length file, okay, which we SFTP, right? So this is the scenario, right? So but what I'm going to show you today is I'm going to skip this portion. So I'm directly taking this converted XML file, right? So instead of Groovy, because I don't want to, but focus should be on XSLT for today, and that's the reason I'm just taking that. Okay. All right. So uh, since we have done step by step things, how to design an iFlow previously, so not going into that, because my feeling is that uh, the the video should be short and it should be focused on the core topic. Uh, so if you haven't watched the basic video of how to create an iFlow, I'll suggest go watch my one of my first videos. Right, I'll put the link as well in the description box. All right, so you got the scenario. We have the scenario clear. We have our iFlow ready. Right, now I'm going to show you how the source file looks like. So uh, let me go into the, so basically this is my source file. Where are you? So this is after message mapping. This is the final target. Where are you, buddy? Okay, let me, where you are. Hmm, okay, I'll have to open it like this only. All right. Okay, here you go. So this is our source file, right? Which is like there's a header, and which has four fields. Then there's a detail. This is a typical employee file. This is all scrambled data, and then there's a trailer. All right, pretty simple, typical file format: header, detail, and trailer, right? And the target output that we need to produce is something like this. Okay. All right, so this is the target file after the message mapping. So basically, you know uh, due to the requirement, obviously we have to do a message mapping, and what we typically do is, if you see this and my final text output, and if you look at the um, if you look at the XSLT mapping, I'll show you, we'll go into the detail. So it is, so basically what I'm trying to say is that after the message mapping, the file is minimized minimalized is maybe the right word. I don't know whether that word exists or not, but in the sense that we have taken only those fields which will be straight mapped to the text, right? So we did a message mapping, and then now the we got this kind of file. So if you see, let me actually do one thing. Let me open it side by side, move to the other view. Okay, where is the other view? All right. Yeah, now we are in a perfect shape. So basically, this got converted to this, right? So ch, and then the date we don't need complete. We just need the 6 digits, which is 2207 and 12. Then this field called chqpr. I don't know whether, I think that is a check period. So that is converted like this. And why did we do this, right? The reason that we did was, if I now show you the, where are you, buddy? Come on. All right. So if I now show you this, right, and I take that here. So see, now it is aligned to the target fields, right? So detail is also like this. It is, in the same manner we are taking it, right? So first will be RID, and then member ID, and then work distance code, then employee EN number, then the last name, and blah blah blah. Okay. So I think it's I think all of you would already do this. I think it's very important to first understand what we want to achieve. So this is what we want to achieve, right? How did we achieve this? Now let's go into the technical world, right? So this is our message mapping, as I showed you. So let's do a quick thing. Uh, Let me show you in simulation. So in this simulation, what I'm going to do is, any guesses? Okay, so I'm going to take the XML file before mapping, and then I want to expect a target text output here, and then I want to let's run the simulation and see. Okay, what happened now? I'm going to pause the video for a moment. Okay, all right, message mapping is failing. Let's see, why is that? I suspect some space issue. All right, where are you, buddy? Uh-huh. All right. What is the issue? What is the issue? Hmm. There is some space. Uh, okay. Okay. What is the hmm. Let's see. Why are you taking so much time, baby? Okay, I don't know why simulation is failing, which is. Uh, I just ran it end to end, so otherwise I'll just first try. Let me see if there is a change in the file that happened. Mm, mhm. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's cancel the simulation. Let me refresh it once. Okay, this is actually good because if everything will be goody goody, then mm, it will appear that, oh, this guy didn't face any problems, right? In a demo, it was all good. Why am I facing the problem? So it's actually good that we face issues. Let's try one more time. All right, here we go. All right, let's get on to business. All right. Uh-huh. Da, 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 da. All right, finally. I don't know. So, see, I did nothing and it worked. So sometimes that's the typical SAP behavior. So, that's fine. So, all right. So, did you see? So, let's go step by step. Okay. So, this was the message that I pasted. Then it got converted to this, right? And how did that happen? That happened through the message mapping, right? So if you see, this is the same message as same payload as this. So text, sorry, XML output after mapping, right? And then this is the text, all right? So we got our output, uh, right? This is the expected output. Let's now go into the crux of it, right? How does the XSL mapping works? All right, let's go into this. So XSL, if you see, XSL itself is a basically, you can say, language or a tool which is used to transform XML messages, right? So uh, typically what we do is we start uh, with some of the things as are probably going to be copy paste, right? For example, this header version, right? So you have to necessarily have this tag, XML version, encoding, then style sheet. Probably, this is in most cases a copy paste, unless your requirements are very, very particular on these things like indent and declaration and method is different than text, right? So strip space elements, if you want to. So this is pretty much customizable and it's readable. It's all English, right? This is no particular such a language that you cannot interpret, right? If you see, and also I would say this will be always there, right? So this is like, we are matching, we're going inside, we're starting to read, right? And we're starting with the node of the XML, right? So everybody knows what a node is, right? Sorry, this node, right? So, and then as we go into it, right, then we reach to the uh, next level, right? So node and the next level is header, right? So header, and then we go next level within the header, going trying to read its fields, right? So what it says is XSL text, XSL template, match is equal to RID. So match is equal to RID. So it looks for this text RID, right? And then this tag, and then this tag basically reads the value, right, from it, and basically uh, this function, concat function, basically forms a concatenation of this value and this value. So this value is what? Um, this value is from the source read these two characters, like 1 and 2. So what is RID in this case? H and 1, right? So it's two characters, so it reads 1 and 2, which is H1, and then adds two spaces to it. So why is this important, right? So what happens is that, this, since we are producing a fixed length file, we want to ensure that it actually gives two spaces. So sometimes it may be that this is not H1, but it is just H, right? Right, this is just H, for example. So in that case also, what, since the target output is a fixed length file, we need two spaces. So that's why this, right? So I'll show you this example in the next field. So what is the next field? Next field it is taking is the T date. So what is T date? T date is 6-digit date, which is 22 of 2022, then 07 and 12, right? So this takes T date, and then it concatenates, oh sorry, this is again also six spaces and six digits, so this is also always going to be like this. Then let's see, the next is a filler. So filler is just one space, right? So let's see the target output file. So after T date, if you see, there is one space, right? So how did that happen? That happened using this statement, right? So you did not read anything. You read filler, but filler is blank basically, so this is nothing. And but there is still a space, right? How did that happen? It's happened due to this, right? And then the next is this field, which is like 5 characters. So basically it took 1 to 5 of this field, so all the content, and then basically that is the field as well. So similarly, next we go to detail. RID, same concept. Member ID, right? Member ID is again, I think, 5 characters. So 5 characters, so this is 5 characters. Employee code is 9. Last name. So basically we only saw one example, but uh, there are multiple of it. Let's see last name, actually, how much is the last name? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, right? So last name, if you see last name is after employee number. So employee number is 9, and then 20 spaces is 20 spaces. One, one. Oh, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so almost 20. I mean, it is 20, not almost. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, hold on a second. Let me investigate this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, good. So it is 20. And in the output, if I see, where are you, buddy? Output. Yeah, it doesn't seem right. Something is not right here. Yeah, but okay, I'll investigate this. But you hopefully you got the concept. So it is that thing, right? So this is actually I've noticed this before as well. In while working on the interfaces, is that this is this actually happens. Sometimes the spaces do not work, and when you just give them again, it starts working. So not sure why is that, but yeah. So that's the crux of it, and that's how the rest of the mapping will be. There'll be an ending tag of XSL style sheet, and yeah. So let's show you an end-to-end run, right? Then I'm going to end the session for today. And then I'm going to set a follow-up session as well in this session. I mean, this is a recorded video, but yeah, it's like, I'll do a follow-up session, especially on that space issue for sure, right? Because I think we should do um, things fully when we do, right? So let me run this. Okay. So what I basically did here is, if you see, the source file is gone, and output, you should see a file. Yes, you have it. And there you go. Oh, okay. So I think so we don't need to make a follow-up video, because I think it was not showing, maybe due to a copy paste issue. Um, because I probably copied the data from simulator or something. So if you see the last name here, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20. So this is the initials. So that's perfectly all right. And then that is the whole crux of why I have used XSLT mapping in so much in my project, I and my team basically, right? So because for the fixed length file, we found that this is the probably the best way. Maybe I mean, this is just my version of it. I'm not declaring it that this is the best way. There could be better ways, but for us, probably it turned out like that. So yeah. So yeah, hopefully you liked it. um I I'll leave the links to the previous videos in the description, so that you can try and learn from it. And see you in the next one. Thank you very much.